Chippa Chap, this is Chippa Chap Chat. This is where we rap about what Chippa Chap Chat is. Podcast made from two nerdy brown boys, both 30 years old, buying all the fresh toys. One of us anime, other Marvel fanboys, both drawing hella shit, bringing fans hella joy. Both love to talk shit, that you make it more noise. If you're in a horror game, don't fuck with these boys.
What up, Chippa Chaps?
What up?
This is Chip Chap Chat.
Episode 21.
21!
You're gonna have to include it in those two. Don't do too many of them because it's really hard to time it.
Missiles!
We don't have missiles. We've got explosions.
G.I. Joe laser guns!
I don't want to have to look for all these sounds, dude. Because then I time it.
Hey,
I want to
you
be
know
good
what?
and time
You guys
it.
will figure out how many of those sounds you
Or I
felt
can
like
just cut it out.
It's the intro of the episode, man. It's gonna be there. Okay, so let's jump right into the news part.
News.
So the first thing is, by now, I'm sure most of you have heard, because it was trending on Facebook a little bit ago,
Yeah.
but there is, I guess, a Godzilla versus King Kong movie that's
Garbage. I know people are excited about this, but I'm not. And you know what? It's not even like I hate the idea, but I don't really care. I think it's a waste of time.
How could you possibly know if it's a waste of time before seeing anything?
Yeah, alright, because
I don't know how much they're going to change.
I don't. And the thing
what
is,
if King Kong is a kaiju now instead of just a monkey?
then you've literally changed what King Kong is.
Who
Then
cares? They rebooted Godzilla.
why name him King Kong?
Godzilla from here doesn't look like Godzilla from there.
He doesn't, but he's still a giant freaking lizard dinosaur dragon.
Now King Kong will be a giant gorilla kaiju.
Oh. Is this supposed to be tied to the new King Kong franchise?
I don't know.
Because if it isn't, again, even more so, what's the point?
Well, because the new King Kong franchise thing is a prequel. So
Skull Island or some shit?
Skull Island. Well, at least from what we've heard, it's a prequel.
Yeah, okay.
It's them just going to the island where King Kong came from.
Okay. Where there's giant dinosaurs.
He is a
and
giant
shit like that.
kaiju now. Then that island can be bonkers.
The island could be an island full of giants.
Yeah, because we already saw a version of it, and it had just dinosaurs. It was like Savage Land in the comic.
It was. That's what I kind of.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's what I kind of assumed it would be. But I don't
If
know.
King Kong is a kaiju now, that island can be crazy.
Yeah. If it's kaiju's.
Yeah.
Right. Why?
Well, because why not? King Kong was already supposed to be a giant monkey. Why not make him a more giant monkey?
I guess it's just.
What's the rules on how big King Kong can be? And because my thing is, if he's agile like a real gorilla.
Yeah, I know, we were talking about this.
He's always kind of
Slow and like sluggish.
Yeah, he doesn't really run around or jump off.
And
stuff.
we've seen gorillas go fucking ape shit in some footage where it's just
Think
terrifying.
of the gorillas that are in like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or those
Oh,
movies.
wicked, but giant.
But a huge kaiju size.
What can possibly keep them up? Like, you can't stand on a building.
But yeah, if he's like big enough to be jumping off of buildings and
You're gonna building and actually hold him? Hold his
he'll
weight?
be kicking buildings.
He'll
over
be
while doing
destroying
flips and
buildings
stuff.
then.
What do kaijus do?
Ah, all right. Check. What is it? What's the
Pacific
title?
Rim
Is the title? Is it a versus?
We don't know yet. I mean, I've got to imagine it is because that's what the old one.
But you can't because they're essentially two heroes.
probably end in some sort of tie.
Or they gotta fight some greater thing. I know somebody was
They
saying.
don't say anything ahead of time, but the fight's happening. Oh, how are we gonna get through this? Fucking gypsy danger.
Yeah, that's what someone was saying. Well, someone online was like, "What if they have to face off with another actual like a bigger
Ultraman type.
like a bigger kaiju?" And then that's when Pacific Rim thing comes, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't care. I'll watch him. I'm watching this. I already know I'm watching this.
You
I
love
just
giant monsters.
I do. It's amazing, but. I still remember the classic Godzilla King Kong. I did watch it when I was a kid. I thought this was stupid. Because I'm like, wait a second. How come King Kong's gigantic? That makes no sense. He climbed the Empire State, yet now he is the same height.
Right.
That's not the same King Kong.
Well, maybe he mutated further. But,
Maybe.
More importantly, because of this Godzilla vs. King Kong thing, it sounds like Pacific Rim is definitely on hold.
I don't like that. This is why I'm more annoyed. Like, all right, sure, do your King Kong Godzilla film for the fans of both King Kong and Godzilla. Why you gotta do this to Pacific Rim?
What if the indefinite hold, quote unquote, is because they want to hold off on it to do this crossover thing with all three?
If it's to do that, cool. But you make sure you fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen that way, make it happen that way.
This is true.
Because I want that sequel. I'm glad we got the first one, mind you. Like, and if that's all we got, great. Because I can still watch that and enjoy it. Because I do.
Right.
But I was kind of looking forward to, the second one. Especially, like, don't announce something and then be like, oh, my bad. That's, we jumped the gun a little bit.
Just a tad.
Ooh, sorry about that. We even got a poster for you. Sorry about that. That was just, pretend you never saw that.
That's
How?
cold-blooded, man.
How can I do that? So I want that to happen. But maybe they're like, hey, Del Toro, maybe instead of doing Pacific Rim 2 now, you can do King Kong Godzilla first. And if that goes well, which most likely would because franchises bites, then the actual Godzilla and King Kong by themselves would already make money.
Mm-hmm.
How about you do that, and then after that you can maybe tie it to Pacific Rim 2? And then, you do a whole gigantic monster thing.
Do it instead of the director of the Godzilla movie that came out? Was he?
I thought he's doing Star Wars.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he one of the Star Wars guys?
I think he is. Gareth Edwards or some shit.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think he's doing the Rogue One. So, yeah. I mean, sure he could do it.
Though, so.
It is, but yeah, that's just true. Like anything's possible with those
and Rogue
ones.
One is a spin-off, so it's not like he has to.
No, it's one of the spin-off films. Which, to be honest, I might be looking forward more to the spin-off films of the Star Wars than I am of the I'm gonna watch all these new ones because I think they'll still be entertaining regardless. I'm not as a massive fan as some of the people that we watch on those movie shows.
Right. I don't know, man. I think
the new one could be great.
The only reason I would go now to that is because of if Donnie Yen is in it.
Yeah, yeah. What's he gonna be doing?
Because otherwise, if they didn't have like a crazy martial artist type dude in it, then I would be less excited because they're not supposed to have any Jedi, so that means no ninja characters. No. All the characters are just gonna be shooting at each other and flying ships.
But you got Donnie Yen. Well, he's not a Jedi, but he's gonna be badass.
There's no way you don't get Donnie Yen and not do some sort of fighting.
And also the fact that we heard for the Star Wars ones, the main ones, we got those guys who did the raid.
Right.
We better see some dope shit there, man.
Like they're establishing that this new universe is gonna have some kind of crazy kung fu in it. Otherwise, why are they getting all these?
If not crazy like there's gonna be martial arts in this shit. I don't even care if they're not wielding fake sabers and whatnot. If they're badass martial artists, if you didn't maybe due to have the Force don't is that a rule? If you have the Force, you have to wield a form of lightsaber.
I would think that it's not a rule, but
is it just a thing? If you're not a Jedi or a Sith,
it was because from what I've heard, everybody's big complaint is they think that Yoda was supposed to be the kind of Jedi where he doesn't wield a lightsaber. All he does is use the Force because he's such a bad.
But then you see the prequel and he's wielding and doing all those fucking. It was like a mosquito. Right. It's jumping around like a muzzy.
As much as people hate that,
I loved it.
I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was
when
wicked.
I was watching that in the theater, I was like, "Oh shit, Yoda's a G."
Don't get me wrong, the CG was really not very good,
but compared
to me, it was like sweet. It's a cartoon.
Right.
I mean, the rocks that was gonna fall on him and shit,
he
garbage.
Stopped fighting. And then got his cane back and
he started waddling around, and I was like, "You are so
awesome.
pimp! Like, is
He's
that
like
an act?
Old kung fu master."
But it's like it's not an act. It's almost like, all right, I'm just gonna put my stick on the ground, beat the shit out of you, just to teach you a lesson. But I'm really that takes me effort now because I'm old.
Right, because he's still a wobbly old dude.
Like I'm actually
all
old.
his forms are perfect.
Yeah,
he's a master.
He's a master. Like he'll always be the master.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm like 500 years old. Cut me some slack.
Yeah, but people hate that generally.
I thought that was one of the more badass things.
But
Yeah, like, is a
don't think it
lightsaber a
rule.
thing?
I don't think it's a rule, but it seems like you only can wield a lightsaber if you're a Jedi.
Okay. Okay.
So generally,
Yeah.
those are the only ones you see. Although people are speculating whether or not Finn is really a Jedi or he just uses a lightsaber.
We'll find out.
Charles was telling me that you only can wield one if you control it. Can control the Force. That's the only way you can.
Yeah, I figured that'd be the case. Like, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's called The Force Awakens, so like, I wonder if the Force is like a rare thing in this new world that they live in.
I really hope that for that the Rogue One, the spin-off thing, it'd be cool as shit if I guess they're saying they're not going to have a bunch of Jedis in it, so I'm not surprised.
Because it's behind the scenes stuff.
But it would be fucking rad if in one of these spin-offs they get Starkiller.
Yeah.
Because that would be such a cool...
And you know what's cool, right? This Rogue One thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Starkiller is canon anymore.
I don't know if he is yet either.
Yeah, but because Rogue One takes place with them stealing the plans of the Death Star, that's in the same time that Darth Vader's still in power. Meaning, he could still have his fucking disciple there. Meaning Starkiller could still be a thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it would be cool if
maybe that's why Donnie Yen's there.
That would be rad.
Because I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that, because I think that's rad.
And that dude looks
He's
exactly
alive. That's what I'm saying. I don't he would be wrapped, don't get me wrong, he'd be freaking wrapped if he got to play him in a film.
Is he doing anything else? What's his name? Sam Woodward or something?
He was in that show Being Human?
Yeah, that's what that was one of the first things I saw him in, was that, other than him being Starkiller way back in the day.
I do wish like they make that canon, because I thought that character was sick. And also that trailer for that new Star Wars game, the one that we were watching where there's like twin brothers. Yeah. I'd watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, that would be rad.
Why can't they make the movies look that dope? Hopefully this new one looks that dope.
I was talking to Joey earlier today. Joey and Long, he was asking.
Oh, okay, they'll play?
Yeah, he was asking if we were excited for Star Wars. And because Long was like, I wasn't excited before, but now that they're doing everything practically, like all the sets are real.
I do like that.
I'm excited. But I'm like, just because the sets are real doesn't mean that they're not going to use hella CG.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be CG all over.
But see, that's like, everyone was talking about that. It was like, oh, Mad Max is amazing because they use practical. And I'm like, dude, they use just as much CG, but they use it smart. It's really that. It's use it smart. Don't overuse it. Whereas, like, the new trilogy was literally all CG backgrounds. That's why it was garbage.
It's just interesting to me that everybody's like, oh, J.J. Abrams, he's going back to the roots. Like, how do you know? You haven't seen shit really yet.
You've seen him in the set and the background set. Like, he's sitting around in a set. Ooh, what films don't use sets anymore?
Like, have we actually seen any scenes in Star Wars?
Because they haven't shown a trailer yet. They have not shown a trailer yet. All we've gotten are, like, minute-and-a-half teasers.
Yeah, but,
I'm watching it.
Definitely watching it. It's not...
Opening day? Would you watch it opening day?
Yeah,
I think it's worth opening day.
I think that's the only time it's worth it.
Yeah, so that you're watching it with the true fans and stuff. People cry and shit in the movie cinema.
I'm not excited about that.
Nah, or like yelling, like, yeah, cheering. I'll be like, calm down, man. It's a movie.
Right, we went on a tangent.
Yeah.
Next thing on the list.
Wasn't even on the list.
Red Tornado pictures from Supergirl. He looks like shitty Vision.
Shitty Vision. His face looks like Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Just a red Tin Man. He doesn't look good.
It's not great.
Also, if his name is Red Tornado, where's red in his color? He's like a dirty, like a rusty bronze or something. He's just not good. He was like terracotta.
Yeah, it's not a great.
No.
It's not a great looking suit. For sure.
No.
The actual suit itself looks like motocross gear or like a laser tag.
I was gonna say laser tag. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure in movement, once it's moving, it'll be fine.
Right.
Hopefully.
But you know what?
Dude, when is that gonna come out?
Who gives a shit?
When's Supergirl coming out?
Who gives a shit? That could never come out, and I'd be totally fine with it.
Did you not like the pilot?
The pilot was fine.
It was fine. It's like I can go without it. Like if I don't have to watch it again, I'm fine. My life's going on still.
If based on what you've seen of the pilot, They're like, you get Supergirl, you get Flash. Which one are you
Fucking
picking?
Flash.
You get Supergirl, you get Arrow. Which one are you
Arrow.
picking? You get Supergirl, you get Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What are you picking?
Agents of
And
S.H.I.E.L.D.
who gives a shit about Supergirl?
Yeah,
I
that's
really
true.
don't give a fuck.
I'm glad you didn't say Gotham, because I would say, neither. I didn't give a fuck.
I'd actually rather take
I know
Supergirl
you
than
would.
Gotham. Although Gotham Season 2 so far has been okay.
Hey, good job.
The second episode of the second season was quite good.
We've got a whole season. I can't do it.
But now that they're just like the villains are the stars of the show,
Is that DC's thing now? Right now? Let's pump up the villains.
It seemed like a little bit. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with the Barbara Gordon character, Barbara Kinney, I guess.
Wait, is she there?
Not like young Barbara Gordon, but the mom.
Oh shit! Yeah. What's she now? I thought they broke up or some shit.
Like, okay, spoilers for Gotham if you haven't been watching it, but it seems like most people haven't been watching it, so you're warned ahead of time. Spoilers.
Or most people don't care enough, but yeah, doesn't matter.
They are making her crazy, and she like may or may not have killed her parents. She says she did.
Is she gonna be the mother of Barbara though, or is she gonna be the previous girlfriend before?
He's dating Morena Baccarin's character.
Yeah, in real life, right?
In real life and in the show. So I don't know what the fuck. Because it's not like this lady that went crazy named Barbara, let's name our kid after her.
Right. Unless
That
she
seems
redeems
random
herself
as
or
fuck.
some shit.
Maybe, but
Which to me
it's still weird
which to me
naming
seems
after your
stupid.
Your insane ex.
Yeah, maybe she saved his future wife's life. So it's like,
She tried to kill her already.
All right,
and
well,
tried to kill him, had him beaten up and shit.
wow.
So,
See, this is why it sounds fucking garbage.
it's not garbage, and her character's even cool. It's
Okay.
just I don't see how you get from
that to that. Yeah.
that. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
A doesn't really go to
Right.
C.
But
Like
that's
B
what
is.
happens when you start fucking with the timeline
Well,
early.
This whole
then
thing.
you can't get to where.
That's
you're
what I'm
going.
saying. Like that's why I really do hope, for the sake of the people who enjoy this show, that the writers are really not just creating stories for the week,
Right.
for the sake of telling a good story this week. Let's hope they have a bigger plan, and that they stick to it.
Let's hope. But, when Supergirl comes out, maybe it'll be better than the pilot was. Okay, so that's the news portions. Let's get to the fun part. I'm gonna do some fan casting.
Yeah, for the past couple weeks.
Fan cast.
For the past couple of weeks, we were discussing random films and upcoming films.
Yeah.
And the possibilities of, rebooting them. It's not really rebooting, more like...
Some aren't even rebooted.
Some aren't rebooting, some just casting, yeah.
So, the first one is they announced, this is kind of a half news, half casting thing. They announced that they're going to do a remake / sequel.
Yeah, because they recently announced it's a sequel.
It's a sequel to
Yeah.
Mary Poppins.
It takes place, I think,
It's the
30
original
years?
characters' kids grown up, right?
They didn't say that yet. They just said it takes place 30 years after the original Mary Poppins.
I've got to imagine that's because the son has grown up and is exactly the same as the dad now or something.
I'm like, but you grew up with Mary Poppins. Why'd you grow up to be like your dad? I guess. But yeah, it's a sequel / I guess a modern sequel to the original Mary Poppins. And we were thinking, oh, who are they cast as Mary Poppins?
Well, the thing is, Julie Andrews is still around.
She is. Very old.
She's old, but
She can still be Mary
she
Poppins.
still could be Mary
Why
Poppins.
the heck can't she still be Mary Poppins?
She could still be Mary Poppins and say, hey, because I had a daughter myself. This is Mary Poppins Jr. She's gonna take
Do they
over
name
for
her
me.
Mary
I don't know
Poppins
how that
Jr.?
works.
Is that
Mary
how
Poppins-
about if you name your daughter
The second?
can you is that would they be juniors?
I don't know.
How does it work that way? I've never thought about that.
So we're talking
Yeah,
about
a sequel. Who could be
play
Mary
her,
Poppins?
if not
And everyone was saying, what's her face? What is that actress's name? Catwoman. What's her name?
Anne
Anne Hathaway. There we go. Everyone's saying Anne Hathaway's the sure.
Right.
She was Princess. What's her face?
Well, see, I think that's why they're saying it, because Princess Diaries
That's the film.
had the original Mary Poppins was the
Was
the
the one that trained her and whatnot.
Um,
And we were saying, yeah, that could work, I suppose.
that's
Like,
fine.
she sings and
I guess I
whatnot.
can see it, but I think if I was gonna do it, that I would have picked Hayley Atwell to do it.
Come on, think about it, people. Hayley Atwell. She can sing. She was in Cinderella. She's British.
She's got the accent.
She's got the accent. If you watch Agents of Shield, you know that she can basically portray that very stern.
Yeah.
But
Her
also
character is
friendly.
Basically, Mary Poppins with a gun.
Yeah. Kind of. But yeah, I reckon she's better choice.
Yeah, I would totally be all for it.
Mm-hmm.
But
we didn't think of anybody else. We just thought of her because she's the main.
She's the one, man.
Yeah, like if you get her right, anybody else could be whatever.
And all of these, we decided on one. We're not gonna pick a bunch. We decided on one for each of them.
Yeah.
We had tossed around names for some, but we ultimately picked like a winner basically before we did this.
Pretty much.
So
we'll discuss what films they've been in that we think they.
So,
I mean, like
with the stuff that's going on with the Fox X-Men universe, and what we've seen of like Deadpool, for example, they have a new Colossus.
New Colossus in the Deadpool
Colossus
film.
That's totally different. He's a CG character.
CG
now,
character,
instead of just a dude.
Which I mean, from the trailer, looked like Colossus.
Looks like Colossus, and their outfits look like X-Men.
Exactly.
Outfits.
So we're assuming, we're hoping that this new X-Men universe will be more in line with what the X-Men should have been.
I think whatever happens during Apocalypse
will change it.
It changes everything, and they kind of reboot things.
Mm-hmm. It's a soft reboot in a sense, kind of like what Days of Future Past did.
Because I think if they're not going to keep
First
Jackman as Wolverine, then that's the end of that X-Men universe.
Getting you Wolverine, getting you everybody.
So if they were going to do it, what we would like to see.
Yep.
Me personally, especially, I think the 92 X-Men roster was my.
Were they known as like X-Men Blue Team or some shit? Because they had
I don't know.
blue.
To me, they were just the cartoon team. Man, that was my first real introduction to the X-Men as a kid. Before even I seen the cartoon, my dad had gotten me a T-shirt of the old X-Men cover with Magneto with his hand out, the old Jim Lee classic X-Men cover.
Oh yeah, the best, one of the best.
Yeah,
still stands up today.
I had a T-shirt of that.
You had a T-shirt of that?
Yeah,
lucky.
And I was just like, cool, X-Men, because I like the cartoon. So that lineup is probably my favorite lineup of X-Men. It has a special place for me. But I also really like the Claremont team. They had a few in there.
Extras, yeah.
Like Colossus and
because he wasn't part of the original.
Right. No, they were the second.
They were the second, like the additions, along with. Oh dang! I'm surprised we didn't name, Iceman or Archangel or some shit.
But how important is it to you that our Iceman or Archangel be on this team?
That's a good question. I mean, as much as thinking about the original X-Men team.
Yeah.
It was Iceman was in there, wasn't he?
One of the first class, but not necessarily
the one that I grew up on. No. He was definitely a secondary.
I did like Iceman.
I like Iceman.
If they're gonna do Iceman, I want to see comic book Iceman where
he turns all ice
the whole time, not just 3 movies into it,
or not just I'm gonna shoot ice.
Like they kind of did it in Days of Future Past. He was floating around on
which was dope. And I'm like, you left it till the last one. Yeah. Was he fully iced then?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was because he was running.
He had a big suit, so he was mostly covered.
Yeah, I want the full shebang ice.
Shebang ice is my favorite kind of ice.
It's the best kind. It's the only kind.
We skipped right past that one.
I know. We can talk about that one after.
Okay.
Because that one's only just that guy, anyways.
Right. So for this one we've rounded up basically what our roster would be.
Yep.
And an actor to play him.
Yep. And we were
and we threw in a couple extras.
We did
Magneto and Saoirse.
We did
just cause.
But we actually took a bit just thinking about these names because we're we don't know a lot of actors around these age groups, so we actually went to IMDb, searched what they look like, and if we could imagine them as these characters. For the list that we came up with, I'm thinking they're pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have too many problems with this.
I'm sure later down we're oh, that could have been a good one, but we obviously we don't know them now, and we came up with a couple names who were they were already in the X-Men movies or they could have played.
Right.
But that's too late for them, I suppose.
It's too late for them. They've already done other things.
Yeah.
And that's really the unfortunate stuff, because some of these casting, I'm like, I want to choose them, but they were already in
That's exact
something.
as another character.
Even as like a little part.
I
and they
know.
got, like people that got wasted on the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
how do you cast them if they
Yeah,
just
exactly. Or like miscast from the previous one.
Right.
And I'm like, he would have been a perfect
Mhm.
so and so. Oh well. But I think the list we came up with is pretty good.
All right, so let's see what we got here. Do you want to do it in the order that we wrote it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever order you feel like reading it out in.
All right. So let's get some of the some of these out of the way. Storm, for example, I can't get that image of Lupita Nyong'o out of my head.
The one that
Her with
somebody,
the mohawk and
the
stuff.
one that somebody like
It's just
photoshopped together. Yeah, it was dead on.
it's just perfect.
Yeah.
How I imagined Storm.
Exactly, it was dead on.
And
She's the right age as well in terms of like.
and
I'm sure
that
people would
version of
say,
the mohawk, that
Yeah.
weird little thing that they give her.
yeah,
in-
that's
in
stupid.
Apocalypse,
I'm
that
talking.
was
We
dumb.
want the full shebang again,
Yeah, man, make it look like her.
like a mohawk. Don't like go half-assed.
So I say her she was from 12 Years Slave, so I know she can
Is she-
sound like Storm.
She can also act her ass off.
Yeah, so I think she's a pretty good choice. I don't know if she'd take it or not.
But this is not. It's not about whether they'll take it or not. It's about what we think.
And who knows, man? If they're rebooting after Apocalypse, they're
Hey,
going to be
Gideon,
recasting all these
she seems
characters.
like a Disney girl right now, man. She's got like 2 Disney films coming out. She's in Star Wars and a Jungle Book.
She is in both of those. She's
So-
just in a weird alien thing in Star Wars.
That's
though.
true, and plus in Jungle Book, she's just a voice.
Yeah, same basically, because she's doing
True,
mocap in Star Wars.
true.
Why don't they want to show her face, man? She's a pretty girl. Let
Yeah,
her be
I don't know. Maybe she's holding it for another
Maybe
movie.
she's Storm.
Maybe if they do the Frog Princess.
Wow.
I don't know. Because they're remaking all these fucking Disney
sound
films.
right for that, but
She can probably do that accent.
let's see. Okay, so Channing Tatum we know is already Gambit.
Yup.
So when thinking about who we would cast as Rogue,
Mm.
we tried to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Someone who can play off with him.
I wish we had kept the name of the other chick too.
Something Tonkin?
It is something talking.
Yeah.
What show was she on again?
The originals.
I should look it up real
Yeah.
quick. But the person that we ended up picking for that was Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley. She's Divergence.
Yeah.
And she was in a couple of other things. Age-wise, she seems like she
She
can...
was almost Mary Jane.
Almost, which I think she's more of a rogue than a Mary Jane.
I think she could play that Southern Belle type
Yeah,
a
exactly.
bit easier than the New York Firefox.
She's a browser.
Yeah, she's a browser,
She's
man.
an internet browser.
She's just supposed to be. She's supposed to be a supermodel number one.
Yeah. That's why it's going to be tricky to cast her, dude.
With Mary Jane.
Yeah,
Well, I think if they're going young, it doesn't matter as much. If they're going as young as they're going,
I suppose.
they just have to pick a real pretty young girl. But I think that she could pull off that better than the girl that we maybe were looking at in the first place. Let me see. I just saw a picture of her.
What's the name again? Was it that weird surname?
It is that weird surname.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, that's a weird surname.
Phoebe Tonkin.
There we go. Phoebe Tonkin. She's in the originals,
She's in the original.
which is a CW show.
I think this chick looks more like I imagine Rogue,
Yeah.
but I just don't know how well
She acts. Well, whereas we know Shailene Woodley can act.
Right. That's I think
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we
That's-
ended up
that's-
deciding
yeah.
on in the end.
That's why she's got the upper hand in that sense. But
She's
this
from
Phoebe
Australia.
Tonkin, yeah.
I don't know if she could do the accent,
Eh,
but
probably.
probably.
I mean, that Ryan Kwan and freaking...
I feel like what's her face? She didn't even try.
Anna Paquin?
Anna Paquin.
Nah.
Like in the first movie, she had a bit of
A little bit of a twang.
and then nothing.
Nothing.
She ended up
Gone.
doing True Blood. She had an accent the whole time. Why the fuck didn't she have?
That's true, actually. In True Blood, she was
Yeah.
more of Rogue than she was in X-Men.
Yeah, I don't know what.
That's weird. How about, you know what would be funny if she got the role in True Blood because of
Right,
X-Men?
that is bizarre.
Uh,
I mean, and that was the biggest thing she'd ever done, so she
That's true.
might have.
Maybe.
Now I lost the list of things.
Tonkin. Phoebe Tonkin. Or Shailene Woodley, because she's more well-known.
Right, and they're both roughly age appropriate to look like they could be with Channing Tatum if they decide to go that way with the Gambit Rogue thing. But why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Now that you have both of them in the same universe, why?
I don't know. I don't know. Wait, then again, didn't they say in the new Gambit film that he's supposedly going to have like a past love interest?
Yeah, he's got to do his own weird love story thing in this first one. I think he's going to be mainly Morlocks, fighting the Morlocks. So it'll probably be related to that.
I'm looking forward to that. I think it could be good.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't botch it.
For Jean Grey, we wrote down. How did you say it was?
I think it's Saoirse. Saoirse Ronan.
She was in Hannah. She was in The Host. She was in what's the Best Hotel? Not Marigold. What's the one with the Wes Anderson?
Oh shit! Yeah. I don't know the title, but that was good.
Yeah, that movie is really good.
It's quirky.
The name now.
It's very quirky. It's got a bunch of really good actors in that one.
Yeah, I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I can't. I watched it on the plane. I thought this was rad.
The first best
something, yeah.
Hotel.
Something, yeah. It's one of those weird titles.
One of those weird movies. Anyway, she's in that, and she's
great.
Awesome
She's great.
She's real cute. Anyway, I imagine she could play Jean really well.
Yeah, because like you could see her as especially like through Hannah and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She can definitely handle those kinds of scenes, but she's a really good actress too, so I think she can really do a good job.
Also, we skewed this list younger.
Yeah.
For most of the cast,
but not like
first class.
But not really too young with the students. More like they graduate. They're the graduated
the
class.
First of the graduated X-Men.
Absolutely.
That are official, and then there's some ones that are older than them because
some will be younger. Like Jubilee will be younger.
Right. So yeah, I feel like she could do a pretty good job. For her opposite, for Cyclops, we picked Robbie Amell.
I mean, just look at him.
Yeah, and he's got the sound.
He does.
He's got that kind of character to him. I've seen him in Tomorrow People. I've seen him now in Flash.
He can do it. I think he can do it. He's charismatic enough to carry the character, and also in this reboot, this new universe thing, give him a bit more. Give Cyclops a bit more.
Give him a backbone.
Yeah, don't make him just a background character.
Make him the leader of the
Absolutely,
X-Men.
He is the leader. I mean, sure, in the books
Wolverine
he became
is meant to be the rogue character.
Absolutely.
Of that group.
He's a lone wolf.
I go where I want to go.
He's a lone wolf guy that does his own shit.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like you could work with him. I don't know how them two would be paired off with each other. Him and Saoirse.
I think they could do.
But
I mean, obviously, this is based on just look. We don't know if they've got chemistry, but we're not really considering that. We're not casting directors here.
For Colossus, he's already cast.
Yep.
He's in the movie Andre Tricoteux or something like that.
He's got an odd surname.
He's got a really weird last name. He's in Deadpool. He looks rad.
Because it's just mocap and CG.
Kind of
it looks great.
Schlubby dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude, but he's a tall dude.
Yeah, but
he's a tall dude. Maybe he's got the voice as well, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't really hear him.
For Beast, we chose Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. I know
he's rumored right now for Wolverine.
I think he'd be a better Beast.
If you're skewing these dudes a bit younger, and we have a different choice for Wolverine.
Yeah.
So I think he would actually make a really good. He can pull off.
Do you think he could play Wolverine though?
I think he could. I just don't want him to.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, I don't want.
I'd rather not.
He's just gonna be grumbly and shit.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But how he talked and carried himself in Inception.
Yes.
If you have that
Yep.
sound. But on a big,
I forgot that he was in there. Like, he was great in there.
He was great in Inception.
Yeah.
I loved his character in there.
Yeah, he was a really cool dude there. But yeah, Beast, great. Because he can sound intelligent and shit as well.
And I would believe it. For Wolverine, we chose Scott Adkins.
He's not really that well known.
He's not well known, but that dude is vicious.
He is, yeah.
And he's badass, and
Yeah.
he could give us a quick, deadly Wolverine.
You watch him in any of the
people.
Undisputed movies.
Just look up his stunt reels.
Yeah,
on
his stunt
YouTube.
reels, exactly.
The dude is incredible.
Yeah.
He's a wicked martial artist, and he could play a trained assassin like Wolverine.
Give him the mask.
Yeah, and fully give him the mask.
Give him the
this time.
costume.
Don't fuck around. Give
He
him the
can
costume.
he can rock those sideburn stuff as well because he's done. Again, he's
See
done
him
it
with
as well.
facial
Yeah,
hair?
no problem.
I think he's a good.
I think he can
pick.
do it.
He's not a super tall dude. He's only.
But that works. He's like 5'. I think he's 5'8". Yeah, I think 5'10", something like that.
Yeah. So have him crouch. He's gonna look small compared to a lot of these dudes,
Mhm.
especially now that not Cyclops, but Colossus is an 8 foot tall
Exactly.
dude who could throw him.
Oh my gosh, that would be tight. But yeah, like he's not exactly the Wolverine height from the comics, which is like 5'3", but they're never going to
They're
go
never
for
gonna
that.
pick a
Yeah, they're never going to go for
5'3"
that anyways.
Um,
But I think he would be great.
for Nightcrawler, we picked Tyler Posey from Teen Wolf.
He's got the
I
body
feel like
type.
He's got the body type and the look for Nightcrawler that
Paint
I
his
think he
face
should
blue.
have. The dude that they picked in Apocalypse, he looks like a weirdo, man. That's not how I imagine Nightcrawler.
It's not.
Nightcrawler should look like an elf, but not like
He looks like a dark elf.
Right.
I've always imagined like Nightcrawler to be like a dark elf, but like an acrobat, like a circus acrobat type thing. And I feel that the Tyler fella from
think he
Teen
has
Wolf,
that
he's
build.
got the build
He's
that
got
he
the
can look
hair,
like it.
He's
Yep.
got the face shape. I just think he would be a much better choice. And lose all the fucking weird tattoo things.
Yeah, just make his
Nightcrawler,
skin
man.
blue, man. It's not that hard.
For Professor X, we chose Mark Strong.
Mark Strong, he is a fantastic actor.
He's a tremendous actor. He's got just enough age difference between the main cast where he would be a
teacher.
mentor to them, but he's not Patrick Stewart old.
No,
where he's gonna
like,
be falling apart
He was in
movies.
Secret Service,
Yeah,
Kingsman. He was great
was
there.
in
But
that.
he's been great in every single thing he's been in.
He normally plays villains.
That's
but
right.
Secret Service is a good example of him
Because
playing
a good guy.
of a mentor character who's not.
And he was great.
He was great in that.
He was
His
great in
accent's super hardcore in that, but
He
can
but
do-
see,
he can
he's
do it
great
with
at accents as
accents
well.
different.
So
he was great as the villain in Kick-Ass.
he was great in there. He was in Stardust. Awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome in that as well. For his opposition as Magneto, we listed Liam Neeson.
This might be a little crazy, but think about it. Just think about it a little bit. He's
Just
fantastic.
The pairing of Liam Neeson and
Against Mark
Strong.
Strong. That's too good. To
I
me,
would
that
love
already.
to see those
I
scenes.
would see that film.
Oh yeah.
I know everyone's still like on the Fassbender kick.
Right.
And he plays a great young
He does.
Magneto. But imagine
But
Liam
in
Neeson
this
as Magneto. That is brutal. That is Magneto where you can literally feel compassion for him as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't even have to say a lot, and you already feel what he's basically trying to express.
Mm-hmm.
And the power, like, you can feel his power.
And
Be great.
Liam Neeson has shown that he can be intense.
Oh,
and
yeah.
him as a villain, as that kind of
That
villain,
villain.
with that kind of power
Yes.
would be wicked,
Oh.
man. We've seen him be a Jedi, of course.
We've also seen him be bloody Ra's al Ghul, in
That's
quotes.
true. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah,
but he was Darkman, so I'll forgive him.
He was Darkman. He's great as Darkman.
Yeah, he was. And one last bonus one is we wrote down for Sabretooth, Alan Ritchson.
Alan Rickman. I know a lot of people like, who? Raphael from Turtles.
Right. Or if you watch New Girl, he was Micropenis.
Micro penis.
He was also on Workaholics as some kind of asshole character.
He was in that one MTV show about American football, like a high school. Blue.
Friday Night Lights.
No, Blue something.
Varsity Blues.
Nope. Blue State some shit. I forget. It's a comedy.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's. It was really good.
He's a big dude, and he's got the kind of face that I'm sure that if you added some prostheses
You have to remember.
to and hair,
Think 90s.
think big.
Think 90s Sabretooth.
Not the weird Shriver.
Not Lee Shriver, who is actually tall. But the thing is, because Hugh Jackman is so tall as well, of course anybody else is not going to look super tall unless you're like a 7 foot.
And what's his face? What was it? Tyler Mane that played him in the first.
He would have
X-Men.
wasted.
I think he looked way more like
Wasted.
Sabretooth, but he was just kind of a
A grunt. He was the Bane.
Yeah.
He was the Bane in that one movie.
The old Bane.
The old Bane. He was also a wrestler, by the way.
Yeah, he was.
But he was short. I always found it
like
weird.
A Pokemon. All he could say was his own name.
Bird.
Terrible.
But yeah, I think that casting is great.
Yeah, we didn't cast the rest of the bad guy mutants, but
we got the main dude and his right hand man. I know everyone was like, what about like Mystique and shit? I'm like, she was never really a major player. I know a lot of
they should get Brock Lesnar to be Juggernaut.
I'd believe it.
I would go with it.
I would believe
he
it.
He could play a giant idiot.
Absolutely. Remove that tattoo and whatnot. That I mean, it's gonna be it's true.
Anyway.
But yeah, like Mystique wasn't really a major player.
Not really.
No.
But I think if you brought Mystique in and you didn't do the weird scaly thing and legitimately had her be her character from the comics.
Oh, it should be great.
Rogue and Nightcrawler's mother.
Yeah.
So you pick someone who's kind of older.
Like that again.
Charlize Theron. That
just goes to show how much they changed of these previous films.
And I would totally be fine with Charlize Theron.
I'd be fine with Charlize Theron being a lot of characters, man. But like, yeah, like the X-Men films that we've gotten weren't exactly the truest.
Bring Rebecca Romijn.
But they weren't exactly the truest to the comics. So I know a lot of people are like, but they're so good and stuff. It's like, yeah, they were good, but people gave them excuse to
because
change
when they
stuff.
came out. Everybody was just so excited. And
yeah, absolutely.
That we even got an X-Men
absolutely.
movie
Like I was there too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're getting X-Men, even though this is not really the X-Men that I remember ever.
Right.
But it's still they called it X-Men.
And I remember people at the time wanted. Do you know who Glenn Danzig is?
Yeah, he's a singer.
Yeah, they wanted him to be Wolverine.
No, he's garbage.
And he really wanted to do it.
He's short, right?
He's a short dude with crazy sideburns.
Can he act?
I've not seen him act in anything.
Like, it would surprise me if like one of the older comic artists based Wolverine, like an image of Wolverine off Danzig.
Right.
So that's why, like, probably put the image in his head. Like, yeah, I am Wolverine. It's like,
maybe he used to dress up as Wolverine.
Maybe, and you know what? Good job, man. You were cosplaying back in the day.
And so with that out of the way, we had one last bonus one that we kind of skipped over earlier. Is that we know that The Rock has been cast.
This is an important one, I feel.
Yeah, The Rock has been cast as
Black Adam.
And from what I understand, they actually gave him the choice of either Shazam or Black Adam, and he decided on Black Adam.
That's saying something big, but hopefully
he probably was just smart enough to go, I don't want the backlash of playing Shazam. Maybe, but I'm fine with being an anti-hero.
Mind you, I think he would have played a great Shazam.
I think he could have played a great Shazam. I think he has the charisma to play Shazam.
Absolutely.
But I think the way that people get all up in arms when they pick someone who's not white to play a character who was white.
Like, he's likable, but I don't like him that much, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's not my Shazam.
Yeah, that's not my Shazam.
So
wait, before you say anything, I'm just hoping that because he's Black Adam, I'm hoping that whatever plans they had for the Shazam film, that it's not going to cater towards him because he's Black Adam.
I definitely think that's what's going to happen, because I think that they're going to put more of an emphasis on
Black Adam,
on making him, not necessarily making him the hero, but I think that they want to make him
like the Loki
is for Marvel.
Yeah, again.
So a villain that everybody likes and wants to see keep returning.
Yeah, understandable, because again, he's a likable guy.
Yeah.
You kind of want to root for him, but if you can't really, because if he's going to be the bad guy of this one film, but then in the other films he's like, whatever, you know.
And I want him to be the same level where he could fuck with all the other Justice Leaguers, because he's
power-wise, technically he should be able to. But yeah.
And a long time ago we had talked about the casting, and we were kind of joking around, and you said that you would be okay with them doing John Cena.
I'd be fine, to be honest.
Because he's definitely got the personality for it.
Yep.
And he has been playing a lot of different roles recently, stretching his acting muscles. So
maybe it's all training, man.
Maybe, but he's definitely been playing a Superman type character.
The problem is he's so recognizable as John Cena.
That is a thing, but you don't think The Rock is
The Rock is also, but he's really branched off from The Rock.
Work, though, as far as acting,
he's got a larger body of work.
It's true.
Um,
And it seems like mostly John Cena's been showing up in comedies.
yes.
I don't know.
Which might be his better direction.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's doing it. But our eventual pick for this went to Joe Manganiello. Is that how you say it?
Probably.
Manganiello.
Manganiello.
As Shazam, and that dude is a massive tank.
He's a
of
big
person.
dude.
I watched True Blood when he was on it, and that dude is huge. He's a huge man.
He's a big fella.
And he's very charismatic.
Very. That's the thing.
He's definitely really aggressive looking.
I think they're like...
But you know, he was Flash Thompson back in the day in the old Raimi Spider-Man movies. And he was clean cut back then, but he was also a lot smaller. He was a big dude still, but he wasn't as
Imagine that clean cut look with his size now.
Right. Well, there's pictures of him because he was almost Superman.
He was,
but he turned it down because of True Blood.
Saying that,
yeah,
this is perfect.
Yeah,
because Shazam is essentially the Superman archetype.
Yeah, and I think him in particular, he's got the charisma to play a kid.
Oh, absolutely.
A kid's mentality, and it would be hilarious because he's so big and aggressive looking to have that little kid mentality.
We'll also we have to also consider like who can play off of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam.
Right, someone who's charismatic enough for you not to just go, I like Black Adam.
Yeah, I like Black Adam more.
Yeah.
Whereas like these two are great together, kind of like Loki and Thor.
Right.
They play really great together. People love both of them.
Mm-hmm.
We need these two to be essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think Joe Manganiello...
And he's big enough to where you don't go, The Rock just wins this fight automatically.
Yeah, like it's not even that.
Because you see him fight Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious, and you're like, no.
Yeah, like I was looking, I was like, Vin Diesel, no.
Yeah.
Like,
he's going to get
I don't, like, the size-wise already...
Yeah. No.
And, like, mind you, in the Fast and Furious films, Vin Diesel bulked up even more.
He did.
But he still wasn't as big as The Rock was.
No, not the same.
I haven't watched 7 yet.
Either. The second.
The latest Fast and Furious.
The one with Statham?
Yeah. But see, I can believe Statham in a fight.
Right.
Because I've seen him in films where he can fight.
If you watch that fucking movie, though, it is banana balls.
Is it?
Yeah, man. There's a whole fight sequence with Vin Diesel and Statham where their fight looked like giant wrenches.
Why?
Because what? I don't know.
Is it a throwback?
I don't know what that is anymore. And they literally like crash into, spoiler I guess for Fast and Furious, they crash into each other because it's a Fast and Furious movie.
In cars?
In cars.
No, you're dead.
Dead on, crash into each other. On purpose.
You're dead.
Just...
That doesn't make sense. They're not superheroes.
In that movie, they are now, man. It's
become that?
It's G.I. Joe with cars.
Are you sure that's not Statham's character from Crank?
His character in it is kind of awesome, but he's like evil Batman because he just shows up places. He just knows where you're going to be and starts fucking with you.
So he's bullshit.
He's bullshit, yeah. Very much bullshit.
Okay.
And then,
which is a Batman.
But Joe Manganiello could fight The Rock is what I'm saying.
I believe that. I've never really seen Joe Manganiello fight in anything before.
Right.
But he looks like, he's like, yeah, you could probably take him on.
Just see any clip
Does he fight in
him
True Blood?
as a werewolf in True Blood. Because that dude is just a sculpted human.
Okay, it's ridiculous.
I've not seen him in like Magic Mike or anything, but
I think he's most likly would have maintained that shit.
If he's in that playing a stripper, he's got to be a huge.
He's got to be as yoked as shit.
But
yeah, him as Shazam.
Yeah, and
I don't know if anybody's even considering this, but they fucking should, because I think that's...
Hey man, his name has got to be on the table for some sort of superhero thing.
If he again, either Marvel or DC.
For Deathstroke for a while, which would have been awesome.
I think this is better.
Different True Blood guy.
I think this is better.
Yeah,
this is much better. Although they did ask him afterwards. So I think I read this thing. They asked him, it's like it wasn't for that role.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That he did meet him.
It wasn't for Deathstroke.
Yeah, he met with him. He didn't turn it down.
He didn't say it wasn't for Shazam.
But he didn't turn him down. He just said, I did meet with him for a different role. Like, it wasn't for that.
Right.
And I'm like, I fucking hope it was Shazam, man. Because if it was, then they obviously came up with that idea too.
But
Like,
you know, he could have been referring to Superman because he works
True.
and talks for
That I could see him as Superman, like in that bloody that one Wicked trailer for that video game.
Oh yeah, the DC
The
universe.
DC,
Online.
DC Online, yeah. You know how Superman's up in the fucking sky
got the
getting
beard
his
and
yeah.
his hair's.
I was like, that's him.
He'd be wicked.
He'd be awesome as
Oh,
that.
man. Just if you want to go see an amazing DC thing,
Amazing
just
Justice
look
League
up
movie.
the intro for DC Universe Online, just the intro cinematic,
Yep.
because it is one of the it's the best DC movie that exists.
Yeah.
It
If
just has it.
Justice League the movie, which is getting made,
Right.
isn't as good as this, I'm gonna be annoyed.
If Batman v Superman isn't as good as that, I'd be
Oh.
annoyed. Because they already got several superheroes in there fighting a big thing.
And it's amazing though. But you know what's great about that DC Online thing? I know this is weird and off tangent, but why that was so dope? Because we had powered heroes versus powered villains individually,
and not their proper heroes. They were fighting other people's heroes. So
yeah, that's and we've never
Shazam,
seen
or like
that.
Black Adam was fighting, I think, Green Lantern.
Yeah,
And like shit
he
like
was
that
owning him
yeah,
too.
dude, Black Adam was wicked in that.
That's Black Adam.
Um,
I'm excited, man. I'm so glad we're getting all these comic book movies and stuff. It's gonna be great.
me too. All right, well, I think that pretty much covers everything.
Yeah.
That is a wrap episode on episode 21.
Episode on episode 21.
So until the next one,
Stay chipper.
stay chipper chaps.
What up, Chipper Chat? This is Chipper Chat Chat. What up, Chipper Chat? This is Chipper Chat Chat. What up, Chipper Chat? This is Chipper Chat Chat. What up, Chipper Chat? This is Chipper Chat Chat.